Hi everyone, Sajid Amit here, and welcome to my first impressions video of the Hifiman Sundara Closedback, which has reached me recently. And I've honestly been very excited about this because the very early impressions that I read about this from different people who have gotten this in their hands has been very positive. So I wanted to get this in and see for myself. And what follows are going to be impressions formed in as much as 30 minutes of listening to this. So I have not burnt this in, if you believe in that sort of thing. I've not had it for days. I've literally unboxed it today. I did try doing an unboxing video, which didn't go very well. So this is just going to be my quick impressions on what this sounds like. TLDR is that it sounds awesome. However, there's a caveat. I do think it takes to warmer sources. So if you have sources that are warmer, if you're looking for a closed back, and if you have a budget of around $400 and no more, I think this is what you should get. All right, so now a deeper dive. So I've tried different sources with it. I've tried my DAP, which is a warmish DAP. This is the Aslan Kern SP2000T. So I've only tried the op amp mode with this, not the tube mode, not the tube plus mode. And I imagine that on the tube mode and the tube plus mode, this headphone would sound even warmer. But this is warm to start with, even in the op amp mode. And I've also tried this of the Q-Style M15 dongle, which is more neutral and slightly more clinical. And of that dongle, this sounded slightly more energetic in the treble. So that's something worth keeping in mind. It does depend on what, it does sound better and more, friendly depending on what you pair this with. And last but not the least, I've also tried this of the iFi Diablo. The cable I've been using is the ear audio cable, terminated in a 1/4 inch. I'm sorry, it's terminated in a 4.4. And of course, the Diablo did help greatly enhance the sound. So I feel like although some people will read the sensitivity of a headphone and have like access to calculators on the internet with which they figure out, okay, so I can drive a Sundara of less than 1 watt or, XYZ milliwatts, etc., and get it to a certain level of loudness. So this does get loud on anything, right? This will get loud on your phone even. But the point is, the loudness is not enough really, because it's the quality of the presentation that matters. And on the Diablo, which is of course a high-powered a transportable device, this does scale, guys. So although in terms of its charts and its specs, it might sound like it's only 20 ohms and its sensitivity is in the high 90s, if I'm not mistaken, it has scaled significantly off the Diablo. So that's worth keeping in mind. And overall, its tonality, I would say, is fairly neutral, Hifiman neutral. So there is pinna gain. But the most significant departure from any Hifiman headphone that I've tried is that this has superlative bass. Like the bass here is honestly, is just very succulent. It's wonderful. I have a friend here with me that I've been chatting with and who's been trying this as well, and he's equally blown away by the bass, and he's a pretty ardent audiophile as well. He works with me on this channel. So yeah, guys, the bass here is fantastic. The sub bass is very meaty, it's rubbery, it's squishy. Apologize for the audiophile jargons, which might sound like nonsense, but it's really nice and realistic bass. Its mid bass is not going to win any prizes because it's got mid bass, and you know that because it slams hard. And of course, slam, like as has been mentioned in a recent Abyss video, is not just a question of the frequency response. And I've not graphed it, and I don't have access to a graph of this, but it doesn't sound overly warm because of any mid bass hump. But sub bass is awesome. Pinna gain. And the treble is very Hifiman-like in that the treble is lively, it's energetic, and it can go from being present and sparkly to being sizzling or sizzly and slightly sharp, depending on what you drive it with. So of this, the treble was fine. It was fairly, palatable and inviting. Of this, it was similar, but of the Q-Style dongle, it became a bit sharp. But what's really impressive about this, guys, is that its resolution really surprised me. Its resolution is amazing for a closed back. And I don't have a Sundara open back here with me, or the Sundara OG, but I do plan to get it in. So I do plan to AB, but this knocked my socks off in terms of resolution. Pretty wide stage, guys. The stage was not as wide of my DAP, and I immediately wrote it off, and I was like, oh, this is great. And it does sound intense of brighter sources, but it doesn't have great stage. So I wrote it off until my friend here tried this with Diablo, and then he pointed out the stage has expanded, and it did sound much wider to the point that you could mistake this for an open back. Great work in damping, great work in staging. Imaging is fabulous. Like a lot of songs that I played this track by Brandy Carlisle, her cover of Soundgarden's Black Hole Sun. And you honestly felt that her voice was coming from a distance, and you felt that sort of three-dimensionality. So this has great stage depth as well. Again, so when I say this has decent stage width, I don't mean to say it's like a Sennheiser HD800S sort of width, but it's fairly wide for a Closedback. Timbre, there's nothing wrong with this timbre, guys. So overall, I've been pretty surprised with this technical prowess, this technical performance. That's it. I mean, I tried a few songs that you might want to know about. I tried an Indian track. I tried Chris Cornell's song from the Songbook album, Call Me a Dog. I tried Bruce Dickinson's songs. I tried a few Guns N' Roses songs. The first track that they played was Metallica's And Justice for All. And because as you might know if you followed my work, I do like rock and metal. This did not break a sweat. It handled songs that sounded congested as well as it handled female vocals. Everything sounded great, guys. First impressions, very strong impressions, and I hope to, come back to you with another video later. I hope this was useful, guys, and stay tuned for more. Bye-bye.